Welcome to day 18 of 30 days of gentle grief support. I'm Linda Falasco, a grief and trauma therapist, and today I want to remind you of something that so many grieving hearts forget. You are not broken. You are grieving. Some days grief makes you feel like you are falling apart, like you're made of pieces that will never fit back together. Or like after losing my brother Jeff, it felt like my heart was shattered in millions of pieces. And that's kind of where I got the cover idea for my book, Mending Piece by Piece, Navigating Through Grief with Hope, was this shattered heart. But what I learned is how I can mend that shattered heart. If you're like me, you might wonder, will I ever feel normal again? Will my heart ever get put back together again? You will mend. You will look different and you will learn how to carry your grief and move forward. What you're experiencing isn't brokenness. It's the body's natural response to deep loss. Grief is not just about sadness. It's confusion, exhaustion, numbness, sometimes anger. You may experience an array of emotions and experience emotions that you never even knew you had before. That's what grief looks like. It's crying at random moments or not being able to cry at all. I know for me, that was the worst. I felt like it was welling up, and I just wanted to cry and felt like I couldn't. And one thing that I learned was that if I got in my car and I listened to a certain song, oh, the tears would just come out. So I found ways to finally let it out because it felt like it was all stopped up. Now, I'm not suggesting that's what you do. It just worked for me, but that's normal. Like I'm crying at the drop of a hat. Next minute, I can't cry for days. That's grief. It's forgetting things. It's feeling like you're in a fog, losing motivation, feeling like you're watching your life from a distance. I say, it's Linda has left the room. I feel like sometimes that I'm out here and like just watching my life go by. Again, that's grief. That's normal. You're not failing. You're human and you're experiencing love, shock, and trauma all colliding inside you. That's grief. Grief touches every part of who we are. It affects us emotionally. It stirs that sadness and guilt, longing and love. It impacts us physically. It can bring fatigue, tension, headaches, stomach aches, muscle aches, even feel like your heart's breaking. And then it impacts us mentally. It clouds our concentration. It disrupts our memory. It makes small decisions feel impossible. Even making a decision to get a shower or what should I cook? It feels like you can't even make that decision. Again, normal. It impacts us spiritually. It shakes our beliefs. It questions our sense of meaning and purpose. Nothing about this is wrong. It's your heart and your brain and your body trying to survive something it never wanted to face. I want you to know, when I lost my brother, Jeff, and actually when I lost my brother, Michael, and my dad, but I'll reference Jeff, I never realized that grief would impact me on all those different levels. And I did think I was going crazy. I did think, what's wrong with me? I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't make decisions. My emotions were all over the place. I was angry at the smallest things. I was afraid of so much. My anxiety was through the roof. I couldn't concentrate. Socially, I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to do the things that I used to do. And I really did think something was wrong with me. And I learned in my own therapy and going to groups and reading that this was normal. And with suicide loss, a lot of the other things that I was experiencing was normal for that abnormal type of grief. And I want you to know what you're experiencing is normal. It's grief. So I'm going to do things a little different than I've done in the other days. Instead of going right into our journal prompt, I want to do the grounding and breathing first. Because just thinking of and talking about all that grief does emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, mentally, it really does weigh heavy, and it can make us feel so tight and not grounded. So I want to just take a couple slow, deep breaths together. You could stare at the screen and just watch the scenery, or you could just slowly close your eyes, or maybe even just gently soften your gaze. And I want you to inhale deeply through your nose and hold for a moment. Now exhale slowly out your mouth. And again, inhale through your nose, hold, slowly exhale out your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through your nose, hold, exhale through your mouth. Good. If you're tired, if you're struggling, if you don't recognize yourself right now, please hear me. This is grief. This is normal. It's not a weakness. It's not failure. It's just love learning to live with loss. So if you've been journaling along with me through these 30 days of grief support, I want you to grab your journal. And if you're just going to reflect, I want you just to reflect on these prompts. You could write them in your journal, or like I said, you could just gently reflect upon them. Just so you know, the video is not over with this. You'll have some music just to take about 45 seconds, a minute to do some journaling. So if you want to do the journaling later, write the prompts down, just fast forward a little bit so you can hear the rest of the video. So I want you to reflect on this prompt. What have I blamed myself for feeling or doing during grief? What have I blamed myself for feeling or doing during grief? Prompt number 2. What if I offered myself understanding instead? What if I offered myself understanding instead? Let me give you about 45 seconds to reflect upon. I know 45 seconds is not a lot. I understand. So you can just hit pause on the video and continue to journal and come back to the video when you're done, or you can continue the video and come back to the journal and when you're done. You might discover that much of what you've labeled as wrong or broken is actually part of healing, just not the kind that's neat or linear or what maybe society thinks it should look like. If you have my Mending Piece by Piece grief workbook and journal, either this one or the one for suicide loss, you can actually as well turn to the section that explores the different parts of grief and continue to journal even more, because there's a whole section on the impact of grief, and it goes over the emotional, the physical, the social, the spiritual, the behavioral. So you could go into more detail in those sections after this video. It's a wonderful space for you to capture what you're noticing in yourself as you're navigating through this grief journey. When something shatters your world, it's normal to feel fragmented. It's normal to feel like you are falling apart and you're in a million different pieces. But being in pieces does not mean you're broken. It just means that you're grieving. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of numbness. It's your heart recalibrating. Grief rearranges you, but it doesn't destroy you. I'm living proof. I'm here to tell you that. I have been through traumatic grief, and I'm still standing. I'm still whole. I'm in one part. I'm in one piece. What I can tell you is eventually the pieces start to come together, and you may notice cracks, but they become part of your story. They're where light and compassion enter, both for yourself and for others who are grieving. Now let's say this affirmation together. You could maybe say it out loud, or you could gently reflect on it. I am not broken. I am grieving, and I am doing the best I can. I am not broken. I am grieving, and I am doing the best I can. Let that sink in. You are still whole, even if you're in pain. And I want to thank you for being here today with me. If you can, take a few minutes after this video to write down how your body and emotions have been showing up lately. And maybe you could drop it in the comments and share how you have been feeling both physically and emotionally and mentally. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with what you find. Be sure to come back tomorrow where we'll explore how to make space for the harder feelings like anger, guilt, and regret, and how they're part of the complexity of both grief and love. Until next time, continue mending piece by piece, one step at a time.